Hello, and thank you. I just want to first come and thank everybody who has already donated to the Shirley Marie Fund, and I wanted to just explain a little bit more about the purpose in case um, there were any concerns, and encourage you guys to share with your networks. But basically, this fund is in the name of my grandmother who passed away 2 weeks ago now. It's still really hard, but she was a beautiful woman, had a big heart, and was always giving and willing to lend a hand. So I wanted to continue that in her honor, and in the process of us preparing for her funeral and just honoring the things that she's done. Um, you know, this was my first experience with planning something like that. So I knew that it cost money, but I didn't realize the amount or what all goes into it. But basically, um, her funeral was $7,200. And that was after we negotiated it down to not include certain things, and because of COVID, um, some things that typically go at funerals we didn't need, so that was excluded. But it would have been about almost $8,000, but we were able to get it down to $7,200. and and in the process of that, my grandmother, she didn't have she had things set in place, but then that didn't happen the way that I'm sure she intended it to. So we as a family had to come out of pocket, which is fine. We do you do what you do for your loved ones. But with that being said, I got kind of in my head about, there has to be people out there or organizations out there who help families in this situation. And to my surprise, or not really surprised, I guess, I found out that Texas is definitely not a state that helps with burial assistance. In fact, there are only three, I think, states in the United States that help families with burial assistance. Other than that, there are programs to help with indigents. So basically, you can have, basically, you're viewed as nothing. That's what indigent is in so many words. But you have no income, no assets, no anything, and 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 then the state will take over the body and find and give it a burial of sorts. Okay, so that was the extent of what I found. I did find one organization that helps with up to $500 for burial assistance, but that is the cost of an obituary. But anyway, and during this process, I realized that I wanted to help people in this situation. And unfortunately, we're in a time where there's an increase. And because of that increase in deaths, um, and just people are not prepared at all. You're not even prepared when you are prepared. Like, you're expecting a loved one to pass away, or that loved one is up in age, or they have an illness or whatever. Like, even in those situations, people are not prepared, but they're even more not prepared when it takes them by surprise. And it's already stressful enough dealing with what is surrounding the loss of a loved one, or getting, I don't want to use the word get ready, because you can't get ready for anything like that, but it's already stressful enough dealing with the situation, that finances should not have to be a stress on top of it. So the goal of the fund is a starting point, really. Ultimately, I want it to be Anyway, it's a starting point to my goal is to help 10 families with at least $1,000 to help them toward the burial, funeral arrangements of their loved ones. But the ultimate goal is to start a nonprofit that will fully fund families, families who need it with arrangements for their loved ones. Because, like I said, grief is a hard enough process. So there shouldn't be any other stresses that are added on to that. And if I can help in preventing that, that's what I want to do. For people who don't know me, I am a licensed counselor in the state of Texas, and I also would offer services of grief counseling for up to 3 sessions as part of the fund as well. So if a family is selected, I will be providing grief counseling at no cost to them. And like I said, I thank everybody for seeing and understanding the vision. And if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I have no problem answering them. I love you guys who have donated, for those of you who are thinking of donating, and I appreciate those of you for sharing it as well. Anyway, this is part of my grieving process, and I know that this is something that my grandmother will be proud of, and I'm grateful that it was put on my heart to do this, and I just want to be able to bless people and to carry on her name. All right.